BlogTalk Radio.
Hello, everyone. This is Chrism, and I'd like to welcome you to this conversation about your Kundalini, this radio program, which is all about your Kundalini experiences. As I said, my name is Chrism. I'm your host, and I'd like to welcome everybody who's in the chat room, and I would also like to welcome my co-host, who just was able to come back on. Some of you may notice when you're in the chat room or when you call up on the telephone that you'll get bumped off for whatever reason. We don't know why. It just happens. And Santara just got bumped off. And if you get bumped off, if you're in the chat room or you're calling up or you're listening, from your computer on Facebook, if you get bumped up, just sign back on. And the shows are archived. So you can, after the show is over, you can go back and see whatever it was that you missed. If you missed anything, it could have been just me falling asleep, and you wouldn't have missed anything. So here we are, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce my co-host. Her name is Santara Kundalini, and she since 2012 has been co-host and the support of this program, and so I'd like to welcome her to the show right now. Hi, Santara. Maybe not.
No, I'm here.
I hear you.
I expected you to hit the red button. Sorry. Okay.
So here we are, another beautiful day and another beautiful evening in Ireland to talk about the Kundalini. And today I want to just kind of go over some of the unusual things. We know about the head pressures, right? We know about the head pressures. We know about the kriyas. We know about, some of the aches and pains that are associated with it. But today, some of the more unusual things, kind of fun things too, like the hyper flaring of the nostrils, I always found to be somewhat entertaining, especially if you could see somebody with hyper flared nostrils. It's quite it's unusual, to say the least, and you would be surprised how wide those nostrils can get. Let me tell you, you would be amazed at how wide the nostrils can get, and they can get pretty wide. I mean, you won't be able to use them as a parachute or anything, but they can get quite wide, and one of the reasons for that is as the Kundalini comes up through the spine and up through the neck and then up through the front channels of the face, the Ida and the Pingala, the two major conduits of Kundalini within the person, these are the channels that crisscross around the chakras up the spine. These terminate at the upper lip of each nostril. And have you, I believe you've had some experiences with that lately, Santara. Is that true?
That's true, Chrism, yeah. It's kind of come, I suppose, in cycles. I find this happens, I remember the first time my nostrils flared, actually, and I hadn't read anything about that at the time. And it's the most weird, amazing thing, because that's not part of your body that you really do anything with your nose, and suddenly your nostrils open and become huge.
I would like to see somebody be able to hyper flare their nostrils like that on purpose. That would be amazing. And also, yeah. I mean, I think you had a perfect opportunity to do some gold mining there with the upper lip about 1/8 of an inch in.
Well, in there, and you're talking about the lip of the nostril now, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can get, I remember getting crusty in there, and it wasn't from picking it. It can get quite sore, you know.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. You know, that terminus point, man, it can inflame and form like a kind of like acne on the inside of the upper lip of the nostril. And you know, if you try to fiddle with it, or you try to pick it, or you know, pop it, or do anything like that, it's excruciating in its pain. And so,
and you will try because it's
because you think that you
there,
you think it's just it's just like inner acne. It's like your tongue on something wrong with your tooth. You know, you keep exploring it, and so once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Kundalini phenomena. That little inflamed spot, that raised portion of flesh, very tiny raised portion of flesh, right under the lip of the nostril, the upper part of the nostril, that is the terminus of the ida and the pingala. Actually, you know, that's not correct. I cannot say with total clarity that is the terminus. What it does is it hooks into another channel, and that channel goes on either side of the nose, and it goes up the bridge of the nose, and then up and over the forehead, and joins itself into the crown chakra, you know, to those front petals of the crown chakra. And so it's just it's a very, I don't know, I guess the word would be constricted point. It's a very, very small point there where it really kind of changes its position from the head or the thoracic. You know, it's basically running all the energy from the tailbone all the way up the spine and all the way around each of the chakras, all the way up through the neck, and then through the face, over the eyes, and then down onto those lips of the upper lips of the nostrils, and then hooking in to the twin channels that go up the bridge of the nose and over the forehead and into the seventh chakra, the crown chakra. And then, you know, that can be a pretty intense level of blockage, and the inflammation doesn't have to be due to a blockage. It can be due to just a lot of energy coming through that the flesh of the nose isn't acclimated to yet, and so, you know, it forms that problem. But did you just sniffle? Was that a sniffle, Centaura?
No, I wasn't sniffling. I kind of said, yeah. But one of the things that happens is radicalism at that time, it did for me anyway, was the air going in to the nostril spontaneously. So suddenly, you know, one or other of the nostrils doesn't breathe in air anymore, like it's spontaneously. It's the other one does it all on its own. So there can be a huge amount of activity going on in one nostril.
Yes, indeed. They're it is. I agree.
Go, okay.
I wasn't saying that.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Is like, you know, and you know, a lot of people, you know, when I say, well, have you been doing the safeties? Have you been practicing the safeties? And they'll say, oh yeah, I've been practicing all the safeties. Everything's good. I've been doing that. And how's the pranayama coming? Oh, I haven't been able to do that because my nose is stopped up, right? You know, I've got a stuffy nose. And what I find with the Kundalini is that she will coordinate a level of choice, her choice, about which nostril you're going to be able to breathe through. And of course, if both nostrils are plugged up, well, then that choice is that you need to have some detox drainage going on before you're going to be doing anything with your nostrils. You know, you can purse your lips like you're whistling, and you can breathe that way, but that won't do too much for your nostrils, right? But when your nostrils are kind of like what a Centaur just said, was that, you know, one's breathing and one isn't. right? That's basically her choice. She's going to choose which one is going to be the dominant nostril to instigate the flow of air, but most importantly, the flow of prana into whichever side of the body that you're looking. You got to remember that the right nostril is sacred male, the left nostril sacred female, and she is controlling the amount of energy and the balance and the harmony the nostrils really are a control vector, just like the hands, just like the feet, and everything. God, you go vivisect the body, and you've got that one side, and you've got the other side, and with the nostrils, she's controlling the amount of energy that's coming through as a form of a customized level of energetic intake for you and for your energetic anatomy. And, so it's very true what Amelia is saying, that one side may not be breathing at all and the other side will totally be breathing. And that's just normal. That is something you don't kind of look at that and go, oh, God, and then try to force it. You just allow it to occur because, this is her stepping in to your process in a very, how do I say it, in a very pronounced way. She's not trying to hide. It's nothing. I mean, hardly anything with the Kundalini. The Kundalini doesn't hide its manipulation of you. It's pretty overt everywhere. It's just that you don't have always the facility to discern what is occurring on the body. And so people jump to conclusions like, oh, gosh, I must have, this syndrome or that illness or this or that, and I even got this question today on the groups, on one of the groups. It's like, when do you just look at everything that's happening and then you either discern that it's Kundalini or you discern that you're just sick? And the thing that comes to my mind when I look at that is like, if you have Kundalini, you're never just sick. You're just not able to discern what is happening to you. A lot of the areas of manipulation on the body are there to form different types of detoxification. You're detoxing in different ways. You can be detoxing from the palms of your feet. You can be detoxing when you sleep, and when you get up from your bed, you see all this fluid from your back and your legs have drained right into the mattress. And you may find yourself going through mattress after mattress after mattress. Unless you're sleeping in liquid absorbing type of material.
Oh.
I didn't say diapers. But yeah, because it's hot, it gets really hot, especially if you're in a warmer climate, like say in the Caribbean or Hawaii, South Pacific, somewhere like that, Northern Australia, Thailand, India. She will force you to sweat. She'll force your body to give up some of those fluids, and typically that will happen at nighttime, and you'll wake up and you have these really, really sweat-soaked sheets and then sweat-soaked mattress. And it's not like you're not having enuresis or anything. You're not, wetting the bed that way. It's just you're waking up and, it's a full-body imprintation of fluid going into that mattress. And, it's just part of the deal. And that's another one of these, not so often talked about symptoms that people can have with the Kundalini. And this is in addition to all the other things that we do talk about, like the black and blue left big toe, and the eyes being forced up, and the tongue being forced up, and the person having their diaphragm forced up under their rib cage, and some of the more common things like the kriyas, the spontaneous movements of the body, the spontaneous breath of the body, all of these things. Some of these other things like the hyper flaring of the nostrils and the hyper arching of the feet, back and forth into the arch and to the reverse of the arch, with a lifting from the heel of the foot, so to say, and these types of things. These things also occur, and even though they're not as talked about as say a Kriya would be, they are all part of the scenario with the Kundalini. I can go over here to the chat room, and look, Andrew said it sounds great. We always have to do some sort of a sound check with people here on this program, because these are digital studios, and the sound isn't always coming through. Sometimes we have to reboot. Sometimes the people have to reboot. So thank you, Andrew, for letting us know that things are going well. And I'd like to say greetings back to Iman Hammond. Hello to you as well. And to everybody that's there in the chat room, Tanjira, and some of the people that I've seen in seminars before. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for showing up. And what unusual symptoms do you want to bring up there, Santara?
Well, you mentioned in that post today as well about eyes. I think you did, about having spasms or movement in the eyes. And
Actually,
I remember having a tick.
Yeah, they brought that up. The questioner brought that up, and that's a good one. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
With the eyes, the eyes are surrounded by the ring muscles, ring, R-I-N-G. And these ring muscles operate, very much like what some of the old SLR cameras would operate. They stabilize the eyeball. They direct the eyeball. You have muscular attachments directly on the eyeball, and I'm seeing that right now. And these muscles have to be really, really balanced well, or you get a drifting eye, which is what when I was a child, I had one of those drifting eyes. You couldn't tell where the guy's looking. One eye's kind of like going off that way, the other eye's going the other way. And so they took me into the hospital at Kaiser Oakland, and they put me under the knife. And at that time, they were using ether, and with the horse-drawn carriages parked outside, they were having a horse walk on a...
Yep. He's that old, guys.
Anyway, I remember the nurse saying, "Okay, you're going to see the man in the moon." And I thought, "Oh no, I don't want to see him." Count backwards from 10, like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then I went unconscious, and what they did is they detached the muscular filament that was attached to the eyeball, and they reattached it somewhere else on the eye to give it a balance. And they had some experience with that, so they knew where to attach it to give you bifocal vision, and they went ahead and did that. But with the Kundalini individual, these muscles, and not just the directional muscles, that go side to side, but also the up and down muscles, and also the muscles that are, like crisscross muscles, kitty corner muscles. These will experience Kriyas. And the Kriyas are a manifestation of the Kundalini that is coming through the facial muscular mask. And once again, she's very custom with it. Sometimes she'll just give you a tick or a minor spasm on the right side, or sometimes on the left side, or sometimes on both sides. I've had it on both sides myself as well, but typically for me it was mostly on the left side. How about you, Centaura?
I can remember it on both, but obviously different times. Yeah, I can particularly remember about a week of it on the right side at one stage, and it was really difficult. It sounds like nothing, but it was challenging, you know.
Oh,
Constant
especially
kick.
if you're doing public speaking. Oh my word, you know, and you have this spasm on like the lower eyelid or the corner of the eyelid, and you know that draws focus. That draws people's attention. Going, oh my God!
And it's quite obvious. It's a big thing, you know. It's like it moves. It goes, you know. I can remember saying, "Can you see that?" Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they're thinking a little too much caffeine there.
But difficult enough. It was because I knew it was Kundalini, and I'm trying to be okay with it. But at the same time, it was challenging. So it was a good one for, you know, being in surrender, because I had to constantly put myself into being okay with it.
Yeah, I had to as well, and it's not the easiest thing. I mean, you'd be surprised at how many times. I mean, people really get into your face. They look at your nose, they look at the symmetry, they look at they looking right at your eyes, and when they're looking right at your eyes, they're looking at everything that is right around your eye too. The epicanthic folds, if you have any, or the crow's feet, all of that stuff is being observed. And when the Kundalini starts to move in there, and she will start moving those muscles. I mean, that's part of the infusion. So I think I want to thank you, Centaur, for bringing that up, because that is something that's very worrisome for people, especially if you're doing a business presentation or you're inside of the early part of a relationship, and you know he's looking into your eyes or she's looking into your eyes, and all of a sudden he's got a tick. And it's like, no, really, I don't have a meth problem. I'm not doing drugs today.
Could they be called kriyas then? Eye kriyas.
Well, yeah, for sure. Ocular kriyas. Yeah.
Ocular kriyas. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely of a kriya nature, and it's nothing that you want to do. You don't want to do Botox. You don't want to do any kind of invasive medical treatment, because you might think something's wrong with you. You don't need to take a drug for this. There's no need for a medication. Now, if you're drinking a lot of coffee, you could stop doing that. Okay, and if you're doing methamphetamine or cocaine or things of that nature, you can definitely stop doing those. Those will add energy to these kriyas, just the same way that when the adrenals are amplified by the Kundalini, to secrete, greater amounts of adrenaline into the bloodstream. You don't need to put fire out with fire with this. So stop the caffeine, stop the hot, spicy stimulants. Like cayenne peppers or jalapeno peppers or things of that nature, because you are kind of adding more juice to the whole thing that is not necessary. Matter of fact, if you are having the eye kriyas and you want the eye kriyas to stop, really cut back on any of the artificial sugars, artificial white flour. Bring yourself into some honey, perhaps, and if you have to have, some sort of a granulated sugar, then try to get organic cane sugar that reads as organic cane sugar. But be very, very, very minimal with it. Even with the honey, be very, very minimal with it, and try to prepare your food as bland as you can. Seriously, folks, as bland as you can. So if you're eating, I guess they call it porridge in the UK and Ireland and Scotland. So if you're eating porridge, or everywhere else, if you're eating like oatmeal, or, do they call it oatmeal there?
No, we don't.
Is it
we
porridge?
call it porridge.
Okay. So if you're eating oatmeal or porridge, try to make it bland. Don't add the milk, don't add the sugar, don't add the honey. If you have to add something, add almonds, or add walnuts, or add peanuts if you have those things available for you. That's fine. You could even add like apple or a strawberry or blueberry, something like that. But nothing that is nothing that's going to push it really, really far, because in many ways the purification is reaching into what you eat as well as what you do with your body. And so you want to take that clue, you want to take that hint, really begin to look closely at what you're eating. And for detoxification purposes, and this is only a 72-hour detox methodology that I have come to agree with, my Kundalini agrees with it, is the apple fast. And this is, I give this credit to Edgar Casey from Virginia Beach in Virginia, United States, circa, I believe, 1890s to 1946. He had a very good connection with his source. I won't say it was Kundalini, but it was definitely a helpful source for many people. And an apple fast, basically it's 3 days, and he recommended that you use red, delicious apples. So those are the apples that Snow White bit into, that the Wicked Witch made poisonous, right? I won't get into that because I got a whole Kundalini thing with that. But oh my God, it's just poured into my head. So yeah, red delicious apples. I gotta let it stop here. It's like, geez, Louis, going into the crone, which is Kundalini. I mean, just going on and on and on. So all you eat are the red delicious apples. Okay, all you eat are the red delicious apples. You can have as many as you want. You could have a whole bag of red delicious apples, but that's all you get. And you can drink water. Okay, it's not a water fast. Okay, so you eat the apples, and I would not recommend it. I mean, I guess you could juice them, but I think part of the detoxification is also in the mastication of the flesh of the apple too. So you do that for 3 days, and basically that level, certain strong levels of detoxification have occurred for the body. So you could do that if you wanted to aid and participate in your Kundalini purification. But as you go into the foods, you look at the foods, and she may want you to just be a vegetarian or a fruitarian or a carnivore. And if you are being directed to eat a lot of meat, try to find the absolute best sources of meat that you can find. Okay, and this means if you're a DIY or a do-it-yourself person, right? That means you don't just go and bait a hook and throw the hook into the ocean, and you look at the most pristine areas to do your fishing. Okay, you look at the cleanest water where those fish are not being toxified by pollutants or maybe extreme levels of sediment that have come from farming areas, and because farming areas have a lot of pesticides, fungicides, in them, and so you don't want that in the meat that you eat, right? You want the cleanest, purest meat that you can find. Now, not all of you live in an area where you can have access to clean meat, and from that standpoint, I'll suggest that you go with as much organic meat as you can, and trust that organic seal or understanding. And in Europe, they call that biologic or biologic food. Organic is basically only used in the United States and in some of the, like Canada. But in Europe, they call it biologic food, right, Zantara?
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
And so try to pick up that food as much as you can. And once again, as some of us know from previous shows or actual experiences, you'll be guided to go one specific way for a little amount of time. So, you'll be guided to become vegetarian for a certain amount of time. And then you may be guided to go right back into being an omnivore, or she may cut you right across into being a carnivore. And don't resist any of this stuff. If she wants you to eat the meat and be grateful for that animal that has given its life so that it can become part of you and you can become part of it. And it just doesn't that lend a whole level of sacredness to eating parts of a cow? Think about it. And that is worthy of worship. Like some of the folks in India do inside of Hinduism. They worship the cow. They never kill the cow. There's a whole culture around the bovine interactions with humans in India, and yet here in the States, I'm here in Northern California, and I grew up on a ranch that raised cows, and that they would butcher the cows there on the farm and the whole bit, and a very different ideology, and yet from a Kundalini perspective, to partake of that animal and to have that animal become part of you and therefore part of your Kundalini process. I mean, think about it. The Sacred Mother comes, basically compels you to eat this meat. And, let's just say you've been raised in a culture where that's a forbidden thing. And all of a sudden, wow, here are the Shaktis telling me to eat this cow. And yet look at that as a great spiritual joining with you, okay? A sacred act of joining, with that animal and accepting the sacrifice of that animal and giving your love into that entire species, that entire echelon. Bovine, whether it's, the Brahma bull or the Polled Hereford or the Angus or the Texas Longhorn or any of these species of bovine that exist in the world. Look at that and look at what it is to join that animal to yourself and to join yourself with that animal, and what an amazing form of worship and honoring that is, going both ways, right? I did this a lot with the turkeys. We have wild turkeys here in Santa Rosa, and I would feed the turkeys. I'd find the best seeds and sunflower seeds and millet and all these different seeds that they just love, right? They love, and so I feed them. And in the same action, I feed the sparrows and the blackbirds and the crows and the mockingbirds and the jays and all of these, different bird species. But when I would eat, sometimes I would have turkey, and I would feel okay with it because I was really completing that cycle, completing that gifting and that receiving, and that gifting and that receiving. And the same thing goes with the plants. You don't there's no such thing as a weed in God's beautiful garden. There's no such thing as a weed. It's just, some plants are used by humans and some plants aren't. Just because they're not used by humans doesn't make them worthless. Doesn't make them, oh, let's kill that because I'm not using it in a certain way. You know, you got to practice ahimsa with as much as you can. And so the same thing goes with the plants. If you're eating, like, I'll use lettuce. If you're eating lettuce, well, then the lettuce is also becoming part of you, and the force of that life of that plant going from a seed, pushing its way through the soil, having the sun hit it for that first beautiful day of life within it, and then to have it begin to expand and to grow and to experience its evolution of life on this world, and then for you to partake of that plant and to partake of that evolution and to allow that plant to join with you and to grow with you and to nurture you, you go ahead and you turn around and you nurture the plants. You nurture lettuce. You maybe spread some lettuce seeds around your yard and just let it grow. Just let it grow. Don't harvest it. Just let it go. Let it do its thing. Just like you're being allowed to do your thing on this world. Okay. And I know that diverged us a little bit from the symptoms of Kundalini. But still, there's more to go with those symptoms, and I'm going to touch on
ears,
more here.
Chrism?
How about
God. Ears?
Your ears can
There's
develop
quite a bit goes on with
so
ears.
much. The earwax, I mean, you're literally a candle factory with the earwax production that occurs with the ears inside of the Kundalini. It's just amazing. And they get real hot, too. Your ears can get really, really hot, producing a lot of earwax. You know, you may want to buy some stock in Q-tips. I mean, it's really... And I don't know if it's the same way for everybody with that. But, yeah, there's a lot of earwax that can be developed. And you can also start hearing things that are unusual sounds, amplified sounds, sounds from entities. If you're already having entities, then the voices will come. You know, typically they'll try to corrupt you. Sometimes they'll try to help you, but you never want to buy into anything that the voices are saying. You don't want to make that agreement because it's very, very difficult to get rid of once you start making those agreements. And they shouldn't be talking to you anyway. You know, if these are helpful entities, and they know better than to do that. And if they're not helpful entities, then they're corrupting entities. And you know, they're the ones that want to break the rules. They want to in some way corrupt you, or, you know, corrupt your equation with the Kundalini, corrupt your communication with it. You can also get inner ear boils with this. Now, these are excruciatingly painful. Now, I understand you can get this without the Kundalini, but, you know, with the copious amount of earwax that's being produced, and, you know, how that can, like, set up a kind of an inner ear canal acne type of situation. Well, it can, and they're very painful. That you get a total occlusion of the ear canal, and you know, you can't hear for a while inside of it, and it's painful as heck. And if you have the ability to get some pain medication, then, you know, I got no problem with people. A cold washcloth is helpful for that. I had this happen to me in '86 when I was in Spain, and wow, it was really painful. And yet, cold washcloth overnight, and the Kundalini can also just put it down. She can just put it down. She'll just, you know, that inflammation goes away. The next day, you're feeling much better from it. And in this way, you know, it's a real blessing to have the Kundalini, because if you didn't have the Kundalini, that could last for weeks and weeks. And when I was there in Madrid, you know, I had it that night, and I was just really concerned because I was performing, and I had to, I went to bed in the hotel, and I had a washcloth up on my head and on my ear, and the very next morning it cleared up completely. I did not have a problem with it. Have you had ear infections like that, Santara?
Not quite as bad as that. I've had a couple of those boils. I haven't had huge amount of earwax, Chrism, but I've had the feeling of my ears being underwater and I can't hear. And that sort of underwater sound, things sound
sure.
then when you've got
but
that
that's
going
not
on.
just your ear, though. Isn't that the whole side of your head that gets taken over? That's how it works
and you
for
can
me.
get pressure. Yeah, pressure going even into your throat, I think. And it's not, it's the eustachian tube. It's not actually an infection then. Well, it wasn't for me. It was
that's
tactile
Kundalini.
stuff, Yeah, it is. And you can feel like there's hot water in your ear. That's really strange.
I've never had that one.
Have you had that?
No.
Oh, yeah, like as if there's,
Not without my mom's
very
finger.
weird.
Not without my mom's finger attached to a washcloth.
But she worked, like for me, she's worked on my ears for a time. I mean, it could go on for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. There's just non-stop stuff going on with my ears and my right ear. And then that stops. And then it could have been, my eye would start or... and she does, Chrism. I mean, the Shakti does work on specific areas like that, doesn't? Well, that's been my experience.
Absolutely, she will. She will definitely do that. Another one, and this is right along the lines of that. You'll feel like you'll have carpal tunnel syndrome, like say on your wrist. You won't be able to turn your wrist very well, and you'll be thinking, oh my God, if you know anything about carpal tunnel syndrome, you know that it's the ligaments of the hands go through a ring, a cartilage ring on the wrist, and all of the tendons and ligaments go through that ring. And if you overuse your wrists or your fingers, or you're doing a job that abuses it, that ring can get very, very crowded, and every time you move your finger, it's an excruciating amount of pain. And so she'll do that. Once again, she'll inflame certain areas of the body, like the kidneys, the major organs, the nose, the nostrils. She'll also do that on the wrists and on the elbow and on the shoulder. And, these are things that you want to look for. Now, yoga is good for disseminating specific levels of energy throughout the body. But when you're having these types of phenomena from Kundalini, yoga won't help you. If anything, yoga will just make it hurt more. Okay? And I know that a lot of you are going to want to go to the doctors for these things, and the doctors are just going to look at that and go, oh my God, here's another psychotic person. Hi, Mr. Chrism. Yes, of course. Here's some pain med. Bye. And they can MRI you until you're MRI'd out of the, out of your mind, and it's not going to show anything. And they'll say, oh, maybe you're having phantom pain, or or this, or oh that, and instead of saying, oh, we don't really know what's wrong with you, they'll say, well, how come your blood pressure is that high? They always change the subject when they don't know. So, you've got to understand that there is growing pains when it comes to the Kundalini. Seriously, folks, growing pains. No different than your 2-year-old. No different. Okay, and that kid is going to scream and scream and scream for how long? Amelia, you tell me.
I don't know. Until they stop. Chrism, I've got something going on actually at the moment that's new.
What you got?
So, and it's weird. Okay, so it's on my skin. It's going on for a while now, but it's got particularly in the same area. So we're talking lower than shoulder blade, higher than diaphragm, in my back, right-hand side.
Right in the middle?
No, across.
Oh, right-hand side.
Going from the center of the spine over sort of a bit below under my arms. And I thought I was getting shingles because I've had shingles before. So the skin is ultra sensitive on clothes, and it's like electric as well. It's like nerve, very like
Oh.
shingles, except I should have had the pimples by now, and I haven't. So I'm calling them Kundalini shingles.
Have you had anybody else look at it? Is there?
Yeah, John has been looking at it for the last few days. Yeah.
What's it look like?
And there's nothing. There's nothing there.
I mean, there's no bubble of skin. There's no fluid there. Nothing.
Nothing. And what it did today was no, nothing. It crossed over the spine and started to go to the left-hand side. And
what I mean, if he's
and that
looking
is
at
not
it,
a sign of shingles.
Is there any kind of raised skin, any kind of rash, anything that you can see visually?
Absolutely nothing, Chrism. And he's seen stuff on me, over the years.
Oh, okay, no, that's good.
Nothing.
That's good.
Yeah. But when he touches it in the areas, it's very, very painful. And but there's no, it's strange.
It's interesting. I wonder if you could.
Kundalini.
If you could, well, yeah, I'm sure it's that. But if you could show him some pressure points, like in those areas, like around the shoulder blades, and then have him push on a pressure point and then touch the area and see how that manifests. Is it painful? Is it, what I think she's doing is there's a level of amplification going on, with that part of the energetic anatomy. And because it's crossing over means, that's a good thing because she's balancing it out, right? It's not just to the one side or the other. So I think that's a positive sign.
To do that.
Huh?
It's on the same area as my heart as well. It's that whole area, that whole area. So it's really, and I'm sweltering, Chrism.
And you're what?
I'm sweltering with the heat. I mean, I need to be,
sweltering.
Walking around sweltering. Yeah.
Oh, so your temperature is really high. I mean, you're feeling the heat even though it's like it's snowing out there, right?
Oh yeah. And my temperature is fine, but I am
perfect time for naked snow angels, FYI.
I know. Snow is gone though. But I would it's not an electric creature, it's not, because that's different, but it does feel like electricity sometimes, or like millions and millions of needles. That's not quite right, but it's hard to describe.
Well, you are going to feel it's interesting that it's right there too. That's like right at the heart chakra, right? Right at the anahata.
Yeah, to the right.
Yeah. What are your emotions? What are your emotions?
Like an MD now.
What are your emotions when you feel it?
Yeah.
Any particular emotion come up when that's activated?
No, Chrism. And my emotional body has been fairly good. It's fairly balanced. But it's there all the time. It's not as if it amplifies and goes away.
So is it right there? Is it a little bit lower than where the bra strap would connect on the back?
Exactly. Yeah. Around that area.
Maybe you can wear something different too. Something that does the same thing.
I haven't been wearing a bra.
Yeah,
I haven't been wearing a bra for days. Yeah.
For where? For when?
Yeah.
Never mind. So
I can't, and I'm wearing loose clothing because it's sensitive, and that's why Chris, I thought I was getting shingles, but it's not shingles.
If you can get silk, if you can get like silk tops or a silk dress or something that's made out of silk, can you do that? SILK?
Well, that's interesting because that's what I've got on now, a silk curtain. I don't know what's it called. One of these caftans. And it's making me hotter.
Wear those and try to get outside. Are you over there in y'all right now?
Yeah, we are.
Try to stand out on the balcony and let that let the cool sea breeze, offset some of the heat that you're feeling. Welcome to my world, by the way, with regards to the heat. I've had these things come up before. I've had them come up. For me, they stayed for a little while, then they transitioned away. I have something coming up in on my right leg in the past couple of days. Just a real zinger of a manifestation. And by the way, folks, this stuff never stops. By the way, I don't care how long you've had the Kundalini. The body, the transformation of the body, specific levels of the body is continuous. It is continuous. And these are things that you just have to kind of acclimate to, understand that nothing is happening to you that is outside of the control of the Kundalini. Nothing. She gets carte blanche. She gets a free ticket to any part of your body at any time and in any way she wants. You've got to understand this. Okay, now, Centauri, she's got a painful situation right now. And the little thing I have on my, let's see, I've had one on my back, but only when I do a certain thing. Here's interesting. I mean, when I get into bed and I sleep on my right side, and I turn over to my right side, boom, I get a pop somewhere along the back, and I know it's Kundalini, and I'm good with it. I'm good with it. She's letting me know that she's there. But that could be the case that's happening with you too. It's just a transitory thing that is going to be there for a while, because it hasn't been there too long, has it?
No, a few days.
Then it's going to be gone. It'll be gone for a little while too. Try not to scratch your back. Try not to get a stick or a back scratcher and scratch those areas. It could probably really, really, really hurt. The other thing I'm going to suggest that you do, oh, that's weird. Okay, but I'll just say it. A cold bath or a cold shower.
Okay. Yuck.
And weirdly enough, have John rub some clove oil over the areas. And I know that's usually used for teeth. Interesting. I know it's only used for teeth. I get that, but this is what I was just given just now. Okay, and in a clockwise fashion, with the index finger and the middle finger and the other two fingers joined to the thumb. I don't even know what mudra. That's a mudra of some sort. So the ring finger, little finger, and thumb tips touching, and then rubbing the oil on with the middle finger and the index finger, like a Boy Scout salute.
Clockwise.
Okay. And that'll be with his right hand. With the right hand. Okay.
Just writing that down. Okay.
Now ask your Kundalini if that will have any effect. Doesn't have to.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just stopping. I was asking. Yes, I'm getting a resonance about that Chrism. Yeah.
Okay.
I will do that.
Just try it out. It's not going to get rid of it. The idea is not to get rid of it. It's just to help.
I know that.
Acclimation is all. It's just acclimating is all.
And I think that's an important thing maybe to talk about. Would you talk a bit about that? That, when we get these things, about not wanting to get rid of it, about being okay with these things. And when we do something, it's not to try and get rid of it really. It's
just to help you acclimate to it is all. Yeah. People are so sensitive to pain and with the Kundalini, so much of our pain is coming onto us because our body's having a level of resistance to change. And like with the Kriyas, those are invitations to change. And she doesn't really give you an option about that. You don't get the option to say, no more Kriyas, unless, it's doing something to mess with your job or to some way hurt your ability to have more Kundalini in your life at that time. And then, of course, you ask her to not have Kriyas during the business meeting and to give you all the Kriyas she wants to give you during your sleep or at night. And typically she'll cooperate with you with that unless there's some sort of a karma thing there. But we've got to give our bodies and our minds and our ego and our soul to the Kundalini. She has the right to give a transformation into and upon us. And what our job is really is to find the best way to acclimate to those changes. Now remember, once again, some of you are hearing this and some of you have these entities coming through and they're saying, oh yeah, that's right, I'm the Kundalini. Here, let's go out and let's steal that that purse. Let's steal that wallet. Let's do something to that little kid. Let's they're going to give you some sort of a corruption, and those you never do. Kundalini will not give you a corruption to follow, even if she gives you pain, and even if that pain feels like it's a corruption of some sort, like she'll take away your libido. You'll have no libido. Okay, and that would seem to some people like a corruption. Oh my God, I'm not able to do this with my wife, and or I'm not able to do this with my husband, and blah blah blah. All the problems that might ensue from that type of a scenario, and that would be construed as a corruption when it is in fact not a corruption. She's using the reproductive energies as an aspect of your transformation, and so that the expressive sexual interaction is being sacrificed for the transformation of the physical and the emotional and the psychological and the mental and the spiritual. So, that's just a misperception on the part of the individual that's having the scenario happen to them. We have got to let her do this work on us. And if that means our kidneys have to enlarge by 1/3 and you can feel them with your hands, then so be it. If it feels like you're having a kidney stone, then so be it. She's not going to complain if you go out and have it looked at. Okay? But don't take the anti-kidney stone drug. That will hurt because you don't have a kidney stone. You have a swelling of the kidneys that's Kundalini induced. Believe me, been there, made those mistakes. Okay? And when you have these types of scenarios like Santara is talking about right now, there's no clear understanding of 1, what it is, of 2, how long it's going to be there, of 3, is it going to expand? Is there going to be more, really dreadful levels of pain? You don't know, and you've got to just trust her. And if there is pain that is coming, you need to accept it and acclimate to it, and you can't. She'll give you the acclimation pathway for you. Now, sometimes entities can get into these areas too, and they can start, hijacking a chakra or hijacking a part of the body, or these types of a scenario, and that will just be pain upon pain upon pain upon pain. And then you need to talk to your Kundalini and say, is this you? You need to ask that question. Don't be afraid to ask that question. And in some way, shape, or form, typically not with words, she will answer you. It's like, no, this is not me, or yes, this is me. And if you look at the big picture, it's always going to be her, because she'll allow that entity to do something just to encourage your ability to discern her from an entity. It can get complicated. It really can, because we're not used to looking with the eyes of our pain. We're not used to looking through those eyes at what might be causing that pain. We're used to just doing the visual thing or the visualization thing. We're not used to seeing with our fingers or seeing with our, with specific, seeing with our hair. We're not used to doing that, and these aspects of the multi-dimensionalism of what Kundalini brings to us are going to need to be sharpened, seriously sharpened. And so she gives us these little tests for that multi-dimensionality to come forward so that we can see through the eyes of our pain. And so, when you conceptualize it, well, what does he mean by seeing through the eyes of our pain? You target the area that is hurting, and you go into the cells of that area, and you look with the eyes of those cells that are in pain. And you can even ask them, what is going on here? What's going on with my cells in my back right now? What's going on with this? And they'll respond. But you've got to discern the response. If if there are entities floating around you, and there typically are with Kundalini people, they're floating around, right? Waiting for a moment to be able to interject a lie or a corruption. You have to be able to discern what is truth and what is fiction. And so you're also being given that opportunity. So at the same time that you're looking through the eyes of your pain, at the same time that you're asking the cells in the back what's going on, you're asking the Kundalini, is this you? You're looking at the whole entire matrix of what is going on with that pain in your back, and you're funneling all the information, and you're bringing it down into a response that your mind can conceptualize. This is what I was doing with Amelia just now. I was just opening to my Shakti and in a way being neutral and yet open at the same time. And this is that's how I got the clove, and that's how I got the cold bath or the cold shower. And, these types of things. This is how you look multidimensionally. This is how you see. This is how you receive. This is how you allow yourself to be given information that is not of the physical world, but has an effect upon the physical world. This is why we give ourselves into the transformation, because when we give ourselves into the transformation, we're allowing ourselves to be open to levels of communication that we would not have been open to before. And this is how we learn to discern what Kundalini is telling us, and learn to discern, say, the Kundalini between, as opposed to an entity or some sort of a consciousness that is not of grace, of your grace. And so it's important for people to take these positive teachings from the seemingly negative, hurtful aspects of an experience that the Kundalini is giving you. I think the positives greatly outweigh the negatives in these areas, because the positive is you're learning to discern, you're learning to ask, you're learning to open, you're learning to go into neutral. Okay, you're learning to see through the eyes of the pain. So you're learning to communicate with those cells. You're learning to use the person that you are in each of those cell bodies. This is like the scatter fields that I give. Okay, you're learning to utilize an aspect of yourself that is already there, that's already living, that has all the potential to be everything that you currently are right now. All of it. Okay, and you ask, what's going on in that area? Okay. Most of the time, you'll find that it's transformational based. Look, we've got 5 koshas, 5 purushas. We've got 5 aspects of the human body. We have 5 bodies that make up one body. So 5 different bodies have to go through levels of transformation synergistically in order to bring about the divine human. Well, what if your ego doesn't want certain kinds of changes on the back? Well, the ego represents a certain body, a psychological body, right? Well, no, I don't want that. And what if the Kundalini says you're going to get it anyway? And then there's some sort of resistance that goes on, which equals pain in a certain area. Or, there's some sort of an imbalance, some sort of a karma thing. Maybe somebody got shot by an arrow or stabbed by a spear or cut with a sword or shot with a bullet, in a certain area. Let's just use Santara as an example, Say somebody shot her a couple of times in the back. And so there's this whole karmic thing there that needs to be healed, that needs to be released and allowed to come back into a normal state of being, or like a non-painful state of being, a balanced state of being. And yet that karma, as it's being redeemed, can be expressed as pain. See? And so, there are all kinds of really, really interesting, complicated ways that the Kundalini will manifest itself upon a human being in order to effectuate change upon that individual, with the goal being, the human divine, the human expressive divine. And there's a whole level of detox, there's a whole level of transformation, there's a whole level of purification. Detox and purification are two different things. We have questions.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay. When you said there, what's going on and see with your eyes, and your voice was there, and I was doing that, and I did receive from Kundalini detox, and I saw a kind of a golden undulating movement under my skin in that
like a
area.
Worm?
Like it was undulating. Is that the word? Like a little wave moving under my skin, like
a worm?
A little golden wave. No, it was wider than that. It was like fat.
Sorry.
Yeah, I swear. But that's what I got. Yeah. But it is detox, and there's something else going on as well. So I don't know what the golden unju is, but it was important, and I saw it. Yeah.
Nice.
So say something back to me. Or maybe don't. Okay. Let's go to the question.
Actually, that was very good. It was very good that you were able to see, and you were able to ask, and you were able to hear. Okay, so that's the deal. You see through the eyes of the pain in the body, and you ask the body, and you ask the Kundalini, and you were shown a response. And it is detox, purification / detox. Wonderful, excellent. And I for one, see that as a temporary thing for you. It's not a, continuously
I
thing
do too.
here.
I do too, Chrism. It's one of the weird and wonderful things she does.
Yeah.
You've got questions there, actually.
No,
do you want to go to
now we
them
have,
now?
No, I want to. Bo is writing something on the chat room here. He says, I sense something that feels like a rod connecting crown, ajna, throat, chakra, and this rod rotates in about 1 inch diameters. I see. Yeah. Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah. Bo, it'd be good for you to learn how to do how do you say it? Breathing through those 2 channels up the front of the nose. Just those, not doing any kind of a pranayama like that. But is that thing moving to the right? I think that rod rotates. I see something rotating all the time there. And he says, I feel it. It gets better to describe, and in the vicinity of those chakras, not so much as connected to them. Feel it most strongly behind my nose area. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Start breathing through those two channels in the nose. It's really easy once you figure out how to do it. It's a very tactile kind of breathing where it's like chakra breathing, but you're breathing channels. You're opening channels in the nose that go straight into the crown. And I think this is what's really working with that. Interesting. And Tanjira says, I have something that I have described as a rod too, about an inch in diameter, comes through the head, but I don't feel it connecting to anything. Well, give it time. Give it time. And Bo says, okay. And I can get into that more with you, Bo, in a private conversation. Try to show you how to breathe through those channels. But it's really difficult to show you how to breathe through those channels. You have to kind of feel them inflate. They will inflate with prana. They will inflate, and you'll feel the inflation. You'll feel it filling up, and when you feel that happening, you can really feel the presence and the location. And once you have a memory of the location and the presence, it's very easy to replicate it over and over and over. I hope that helps, my friend. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that for sure. Okay, and then coming on over to our callers and coming over to area code 845-784. Hello, you're on the program. How are you? Area code 845.
Go to Indra first, and we'll see. I'll look after that, Chrism.
Oh,
Indra has a question,
okay.
and I'll
Thank
check
you, my
that.
dear. And then there she is, 289. Her Holiness, Indra Ananda.
Hi, Chrism.
Hi, Indra. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. You sound a little hoarse.
Yeah, my voice is, I don't know. My voice seems, I'm not sick, but for some reason my voice seemed very deep.
Ah, okay. Really? Deep?
Weird how you picked that up. Yes.
Well, maybe you're, maybe. Never mind. I won't go there.
And I'm not sick.
No. And you're also having those hand things, right? The peeling?
My hands, my lips, I'm like, but it's okay. I did what you said to do, and I'm okay. I'm dealing with it pretty good.
I'd be interested if you could snap a pic of putting those plastic gloves over your lips, just for entertainment purposes.
No, I'm using the aloe, which is really good, and coconut oil, which is really soothing.
Yeah. For me, when I was having that, and let me tell you, it was transitory, but it lasted a year.
Wow.
It was very interesting. It was very, very interesting. I just lost my train of thought with that. Oh, yeah. I was using that African tree oil. I forget what they call it. Shea butter, a certain kind.
Oh, I got some of that. That's a good idea.
No. Wait. I used to be a professional driver, right? And one time I was called out to pick up James Brown, the rock and roll singer, right?
Yes.
And so I drove the car out there to pick him up. He flew in on his private jet from Tahoe and landing out here to do a concert somewhere. And and I picked up his producer, and so his producer got in the car, and basically he left 5 jars of James Brown's personal shea butter in the car.
Wow.
And with these guys, you can't get a hold of them to return anything.
Right.
You just, because their numbers are so private, because so many people, I guess, try to get a hold of them, that even though I tried to return it, there was nothing I could do. Okay.
Right.
So now I have 5 jars of James Brown's personal shea butter. And, I opened it up, and for a long time I didn't use it because I wasn't really, I didn't feel that I needed it.
Right.
But it was a very, very, very good form of shea butter, and 100% no processing, basically from the tree into the jar. And
wow.
I'm going to give that out to people right now. You can get it online now. You can get it online, and it's called, the company is called Omalulu. Omalulu, I believe. Omalulu or Omalolo. Let me go in there and get it real quick here. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure you get it right. I must not be where I thought I was. Yeah, but it's Omalulu, and it's unprocessed shea butter. And when I got that condition on my hands, on both hands, by the way, at first I was just putting it on and letting it air dry, right? Didn't seem to do a lot. And plus, I had a whole other type of things that was happening to me. I had people here at the house. I was scheduled to speak in London, and it was a very compressed, a lot of activities, and we even had the ayahuasca ceremony coming up in Peru later on that year, earlier into the next year in 2016, and so I was distracted, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And within that distraction, I was just trying to deal with it. And, I'd hold my hands up in the shower, and I thought it was a moisturizing issue. And I wasn't connecting the dots until I got to France, and I was in the Jura Mountains of France. And I did that video. And because, when I do these videos, it's like these conversations, they just come right out, right? Yeah. And then I knew that it was a part of the Kundalini, and it was the snake shedding its skin. And, there was a very natural, transformative quality to what this was occurring. And so I used the shea butter then. And I put a very thin coat of James Brown's shea butter on there, the Omalulu stuff. And then I would put the plastic food handling gloves on over that to keep it there. And then I put a vinyl glove over the plastic glove in order to keep the plastic glove there, because those are very fragile gloves. And so I was double gloved on both hands, and with the level of shea butter under the 2 gloves. Now, that was comfortable. It was a very comfortable feel. It was it felt good. It felt, especially the plastic gloves, man, those things really made a huge difference in the level of comfort. Now I'm sure there are other ways to deal with
because when I do chores, like it's burning, right? It's naturally burning. It has like a burning sensation. So when I use the gloves, it's really protecting my hands, right? But what I did was I used organic coconut oil to lubricate the skin.
I tried that. I tried everything.
So you think I say shea butter. You think the shea butter is better?
Go with what your Kundalini wants you to go with. Now, and there are some folks who feel that.
But that's what we say in Canada, shea butter.
Okay, all right. Now there are some people that promote more of a hands-off approach, perhaps. and I think Amelia, can you chime in here on what your Kundalini is telling you to do with that?
Well, I suppose I had some shedding as well on my face and my neck and that, and which is a bit different from the hands. But my feeling is a bit about, letting the air at them and running them through grass and dipping them in the ocean, that sort of thing, rather than covering them up. But I can see why they need to be covered for some of the time, but definitely not too long or not all of the time, because they do need to breathe. And
I remember,
so,
I couldn't have them covered all the time. I tried to, like when we were walking around London, Amelia, and during that whole period of time, I would keep them on, pretty much in the daytime, but there were times I had to take them off. I mean, you just can't leave them on because, like you say, your hands got to breathe. Your hands got to breathe. And, but I didn't, I wasn't rubbing it on the grass or in the air, in the water.
Yeah.
Because it really hurt,
I know it
really hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And like she said,
I remember when
stinging and burning. God.
Yeah, I know. Do you remember when I had it after the Washington seminar?
Yes.
I had
yes. You had it on your face and on your neck and on your tongue, and it was horrible.
And when I went and put stuff on, it really was a no-no. It used to make it worse. So in the end, do you remember I couldn't put anything on?
I remember
maybe
that.
Maybe that's because it was my face.
That's what I was just going to say. Your face is very, very different than the hands, because the hands are used to grasping on things, right? You touch so much more with your hands than you do with your face.
Yeah, you do, of course. And they're all the time moving.
I remember that. Yeah, right after the Washington seminar, it was a rough time. And you didn't like it because it was disfiguring too. I think it didn't. It was a difficult.
Well, it was a bit, but it was challenging for the ego, especially meeting people, for the first time. But that was part of why I got it. I think it was because I had to meet people, and so it was a matter of, I did it, but it was uncomfortable for me. But by the time it was finished, I was pretty, I think she had pushed me into that level of needing to look at, how I looked and portrayed myself, and how, it was very interesting. It was very interesting. Definitely challenging.
Oh, yeah, and it's really challenging for anybody, too, I think. That's, because we all have our own, idea of how we want to present ourselves to the public and things like that. So, yeah. And with the hands, there was a bit of that, too, for me. I'm going up on stage, and I didn't want to have, these slabs of skin falling off of my head.
Yeah, especially in your food. Like when I cook, I have to wear the gloves, right?
Of course you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's rough. It's so rough.
Oh, I know. I so remember that. Just an FYI, Indra, kind of based on what Amelia's saying, what I'm saying, let this take its course. Be at peace with it. Let your hands breathe.
Chrism, I am. I really am.
Yeah.
I've had
Don't cover up the hands all the time.
So,
pardon me? You're in Toronto, so you've got the snow there now, right?
Yeah, and it's snowing right now.
Put your hands in the snow. Your bare hands in the snow.
Okay.
Just let that purified ice and water. There's an energetic that occurs as snow melts in your hand. There's an energetic thing that happens, and let your hands absorb the energy. Forget about the water. Forget about the temperature.
Yeah.
Let the hands absorb the energy.
Okay.
And that's very helpful with you. Also, as Amelia was mentioning, You want to find some kind of an earth type of thing. Maybe if you can, like hold a flower or hold a living plant in some way, shape, or form.
Well, I was out last week. The weather was really nice here in Canada. I was out in the earth. I was lying down. My hands was on. I still have a bit of grass, like it's still there. And I was outside lying down on the earth, under the tree, like, is that okay?
What I was just getting, as I was saying that, was to buy a head of lettuce and hold the lettuce in your hands. Hold the leaves
what does it
next
do?
to your hands. Huh?
What does that do?
That transfers a level of living Shakti earth into the hand.
Wow.
Okay, so just pull off a few leaves and then put it directly on the skin. And just hold it there for a while. Hold it there for a while.
Okay.
Like, with Amelia, don't be surprised if you see other dry patches opening up. Don't freak out. Just take it. It's all good. It's all part of the transformation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I'm okay with the Chrism. What I did call in to ask you, like, I'm okay. I'm really okay with it. The gloves is really helping. The aloe, the coconut oil. I do have shea butter, and it is an African brand because it's pure. And I would also try that. I will try it.
All shea trees are from Africa.
Oh,
I'm
really?
talking about, Omolulu, I believe. Let me.
Yeah.
I googled it. I can spell it for you. I have it up on my machine. It's Omar, Omar, Lulu, shea butter.
Omolulu.
There you go.
Okay.
That's
thanks. Chrism.
Yes.
I have a question. You could keep it simple as possible. I know there's other people calling in, but I have. Something new's been happening. I noticed for about a week now, whenever I eat, and I'm not talking spicy food. I'm talking like a green salad, whatever.
Okay.
I am sweating as if I was like lifting weights. My hair is drenched. My clothing is drenched. Yeah. If I'm wearing a hoodie, I have to like literally take it off. And at home, I have to open all the windows because I'm sweating so much.
You need to go outside in the snow. Need to go outside in the snow without clothing if you can get away with it. I'm not kidding. Bare feet, bare body in the snow. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I can get away with it. But I am like my hair. Pardon me?
Amelia's having the same thing.
Oh, my God. Are you sweating a lot?
Oh, yeah. Unbelievably. So, yeah.
Like to the point where your underclothes is drenched?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, my God. What is that, Chrism?
That's a sacred male activating itself within your body.
Wow. And I'm in public. Like if I go to a restaurant, I have to like pull my clothes, like literally take off my hoodie, take off my clothes. And I'm so tempted to really go outside without a coat.
Wear silk.
Okay.
Wear silk.
Okay.
And layers, very light. You can wear a coat and then have something really light underneath it. So when you go to the restaurant or wherever, you just take it off and you're fine.
Yes. Yes. But did you, Tara, did you notice, is it happening mainly when you eat?
No, I can't say it's happening mainly when I eat, no. But it's different for everybody and it comes in different ways. So no, I don't associate it with eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have it, Indra, I'd have it all the time. I still have it. I get into a car, the windows steam up. It's just part of the deal. What happens, though, is you get acclimated to this heat, and you don't feel it as hot anymore. Yes. But when you first have it, when it first starts coming on, man, it is so hot. It is so hot.
Yes.
This is when I would go naked in the blizzards.
Wow. And you did not get sick?
Oh God, no! I didn't even get cold.
Wow.
But it helps.
I understand. I do. I'm tempted to just go outside with no coat. It's that bad. Because I open all the windows in my house.
Yeah,
upstairs,
and
living
it's
room,
snowing right
basement.
now. Yeah, you can do that. I would, if I were you, I would just step outside.
Okay.
You know, I was able to
Okay.
do it.
We're
I was in the
alive.
middle. Go ahead.
I was going to say wear a lighter jacket, Indra, you know, because if you go out with nothing on, you know, people will think you're nuts. So, like, just wear a lighter jacket that you might wear.
Don't let people,
so it's not so.
Don't let people see you going out.
You mean like in my backyard?
No.
I mean in your backyard.
No, I'm talking about when you're. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, like you were, I think
talking
Amelia
about
was saying, when you go out in public, she's saying, you know, put on a light jacket.
Yeah. I can wear like a medium jacket, like right in between light.
I don't know. I mean,
thick.
if you've got to trust the Kundalini within. I mean, what's the degrees? What's the temperature outside?
Well, it's like maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not very cold outside. I can't remember the temperature,
It's
honestly.
snowing,
But it's snowing.
right? It's snowing, so it's got to be like, you know, freezing at least.
No. Usually when it snows in Canada, it's not very cold. It's nice. It's the next day that's cold.
Well.
Yeah.
Trust your Kundalini, really. Trust her a lot, because you can literally like go into the privacy of your backyard without clothing and not freeze.
Well, the back door is open, and I'm kind of like outside while I'm talking to you, so I can feel the snow.
Are you cold?
You know?
Are you cold?
No, not at all. And I'm wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
And I can feel it. It's falling on me.
So what will happen
Pardon
is this heat will slowly die down. Actually, the energy of the heat will stay constant, if not increase. But your physical appreciation of the heat, you'll get more and more acclimated to it.
Right.
You won't feel it as much.
Okay.
And sometimes you may switch right back over into being extremely cold, where there's nothing you can do. You cannot get warm. Yeah.
Yes. Last night, like, I was so hot after I had dinner, and I took a shower, went to bed. I was good, and I'm under my comforter, and I'm freezing.
That's right. You'll go back and forth.
Yeah. I had a comforter. I had to put a blanket over the comforter, and I'm like freezing, okay?
It shouldn't help. Yeah. Okay, my dear, I'm going to get to these other folks. It's good to hear you and
good to hear you.
Your various temperatures.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks, Santara.
You're welcome. Chrism, will you go to Tyra next?
Yes.
Will you go to Tyra? And yeah.
Hi, Tyra.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, my dear?
I'm wonderful. Today's topic is really, every topic is excellent, but, today's topic gave me so much of information that was happening with me, and I did not realize it because of Kundalini. I kept changing several doctors. They cannot visually see anything. They cannot find anything in the testing, but I have constant burning in certain part of my body.
Certain parts?
Yeah, certain part. Let's leave it at that. And I feel like I have to take shower a couple of times a day, and it's complete nonsense, really. They can't do anything with they don't even see that there is anything wrong. That's the fun part.
Well, they won't see anything that's of a Kundalini nature anyway. She does that on purpose. They are not supposed to see anything, because first of all, it communicates to you that you don't go to an MD for Kundalini phenomena, number one. Number two, there is nothing wrong with you. You may be uncomfortable, like I was with my hands. You're uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean that anything is wrong. It just means there's levels of acclimation that need to occur. With the heat generated, that's all coming from your first and second chakras. You might be having some tailbone pain as well. Is that happening?
Well, that usually happens when I meditate, but then it kind of goes down. Initially, I was having a lot of tailbone pain, but not anymore now.
Well, this heat is coming from the first and second chakra. This is a Kundalini manifestation. You could sit in a cold bath, and that would at least temporarily give you respite from that increased temperature. But once again, if you were to take your temperature in that area, it would not come out as being extremely hot. It's the Kundalini doing this. Kundalini goes beyond mechanical temperature measuring. It's an inside-out scenario. And so you have to really begin to accept this. This is okay. You don't need to go into any more doctors. Nothing is wrong. And maybe, I'm being shown a picture of you jogging or running. Is that something you can do?
Sure.
Then do it. Do it.
Okay.
And where are you located? You're on the East Coast. You guys are having that really cold weather right now?
Yeah, we are in New Jersey. We had some good amount of snow.
That might be good for you.
Right.
Okay, don't slip though. I don't want it. I don't want to. Oh, you told me to run and I slipped.
Right, but I can go to my backyard. But my neighbor's backyard is also in my backyard, and she's always out there smoking. So I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying go naked out there. I'm just saying walk or run. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I did see you. I saw you in a pair of like gym shorts or something, and I was floating above you about 10 feet, looking at the back of your head, back of your neck, and following you there. And that's what I think she's pointing at you to do, is to run a little bit, and that will also spread out. So you'll probably be feeling that heat rash or that heat rush from your navel on down, all the way down to your toes.
Right. So I felt like, oh my God, I have rash. And I keep changing doctor, and they're like, there's no rash. What are you talking about?
They won't see it. You can get the Kundalini rash though, and I have a few pictures of that on the Kundalini Awakening ! Group on Facebook. That's a very prevalent thing. That's very temporary, typically a couple days, and it's gone. But yours is elevated temp, a lot like Indra, a lot like Santara.
Right.
I mean, this is elevated temp day.
Wow. I really had. Can I be a little selfish here and just get on one little question for you?
What was that?
Can I be a little selfish and ask one more question to you?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So last time we talked, you said about entities can see you. So like last week, I am sleeping at like 2:30 in the morning. I really literally just jumped, somebody woke me up, and I literally hear somebody walking from my meditation room to my room door. And I open my eye, and what I see, I have a white door in my bedroom, and the door is almost closed. And I see the back part, there's a red laser beam, literally a laser beam. It's not like a red light. It's like somebody's pointing a laser beam, and I look across from it. There's no light coming from there. The curtains are closed. I stare at it for 2 to 3 seconds. It's gone.
Oh, you're asking me what it is?
Yeah.
Well, are you sure it was a laser beam? I mean, laser? Really?
Laser beam in the sense it was very sharp and pointing. When
maybe it was laser. Yeah, it resembled a laser beam then, right?
Right. It resembled.
Okay,
yeah.
That's often, the entities will often use the red lights or the red eyes
Really?
as a yeah, and they will create a commotion in the room, sounds. I mean, I would get this before I would know that an entity was on its way, and then I would get this. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but I'll try it. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would get that on the wall, and then 2 seconds later, that entity would arrive.
Oh my God. You're giving me goosebumps and chills all over. I can literally see somebody, because sometimes, all these houses are made out of wood, so I was thinking, it's clicking. But no, it's literally somebody's walking, and then that song sound that you did, and I open my eye, and it's, there's those.
Why don't you look at, I keep getting this, look at the history of the area you're in, would you please?
Okay.
Look at the exact history of the exact piece of land that your house is on. Okay. And see what happened there. Some sort of historical event. Some sort of a war.
Oh, wow. Because I'm in a whole development. This is not an individual house.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll definitely do that.
All right. Go ahead and do that, and let us know next week. Now, I'm going to move on to Bob here, and it's good to hear you, Indra.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
you. Okay, and I'm sorry, Tyra. My bad. Oh, Tyra, Indra. It's the Ruz. And
okay, here comes Bob, Chrism.
Hi, Bob.
And Bob is.
Well, hello. I find your show quite interesting. Getting out in the snow naked is a new one on me, but it sounds interesting.
Well, you just want to make sure. You want to make sure, one, that people don't see you, number one, and number two, that you're so hot, like Tyra, like Indra, like Centaura, and like I was, back in the 90s, so hot that you're literally sweating inside cold weather. When you're in that condition, you can go outside naked in the blizzard and actually be relieved of all that sweat and that hot and that heat. It's very good for you. But it's good to hear your voice, Bob. What?
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned location to the one lady. I happen to be in Newburgh, New York, and that was the last headquarters for George Washington, our president, of course, and before he became president. So this is a definite war area, encampment area. So,
and
anyway.
a lot of that stains the land. There's some entities or some souls do not move away from the violence of the death that they may have experienced. And I use as example for that Gettysburg. There's a place called the Devil's Den in Gettysburg. And before Gettysburg even occurred, 300 years before Gettysburg occurred, the Crow Indians were the major military force there. And they also had a huge fight right there, with many, many, many people being killed. And there are just certain areas on this world where it attracts tragedy, or it attracts levels of entrapment of a human soul. So just an FYI.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, is the Kundalini, are they different Kundalinis, just one? Are they elementos, or what exactly are there? I'm studying spirituality now. I'm listening to a particular teacher, and this sounds very interesting. I'm aware of the elementals, building structures and trying to get them torn down is another thing. But I talked to my spiritual guide, and I'm getting indications on certain things that I ask for. Well, what is a Kundalini?
Kundalini is I'm trying to put it in a it's literally the divine that is there in the last three vertebrae of your tailbone. And that is what causes us to evolve. That is what helps us to redeem karma. That is what allows us into levels of transformation. Kundalini is the intelligent force of divine grace that is positioned within our body to bring us into the divine made flesh, or the flesh made divine. It is conscious. It's the conscious force of grace within us.
I see.
And it is all one. It is a one thing, and yet because of our karma, we are very diverse individuals. And through that diversity, the Kundalini will show itself or express itself in many different ways. But often, I mean, if you listen to what the show has been about today, you've seen 4 different people have a very similar phenomena of excessive heat, and yet, you know, they have it in a very similar fashion, and yet they're completely different in their karma. And so the scenario being that once you reach a certain level of karmic redemption, this opens up the pathway towards similar levels of phenomena occurring for people, such as, you know, when the Kundalini comes, you know, you'll have spontaneous automatic movements that are not controlled by the conscious mind. Or you'll have, you know, organ expansion, as I mentioned earlier, or you'll come face to face with entities, that type of a thing. Similar things will happen to people, but they won't happen at the same time or in exactly the same way. Okay.
I see. Now you mentioned entities.
Your spirit guides. Your spirit guide would be an entity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been exposed to information about Sasquatch, you know, the Bigfoot. I actually saw one about 12 feet away from me one night, so I know they exist. This thing was huge. It was about 10 to 12 feet. But from what I heard, they come and go as they wish. They appear and disappear. As I understand it, we're a spirit that enters a body when the body's born. Okay, we're not in that body. It's just a body until about 2 or 3 years old. Then we enter the body. But we never die. The spirit doesn't die. The body comes and goes. So you're mentioning karma, so you must believe in reincarnation.
Reincarnation, yes.
Right. So that's what I'm being exposed to, and of course, the earth gods are of the earth, but that one creating entity, whatever it is, we call the supreme intelligence of the multiverses. So everyone prays to it, but we go by different names. What do you call the person you're praying to?
Kundalini.
Okay, so you believe in the healing from the Kundalini. And
I believe healing is one aspect of the Kundalini. Sure.
Okay.
Healing is merely one aspect of it. It has divine wisdom. It has the ability to transform us into itself within certain parameters of flesh.
Do you believe you have to come back many times to maybe take care of a thought that lingers instead of being exteriorized or
not so much about thoughts, but it's for reincarnation is really about refinement. You live a life and you achieve a certain level of refinement. The refinement is what allows you to eventually, through the lives lived, come into the level of Kundalini awakening or activation. And it's through the activation and awakening series of events within Kundalini that allows a person to begin to evolve into a level of divine expression that the karma they had before would not allow them to do.
I see. Okay, well, you answered my questions. I appreciate. I thank you for your wisdom, your teachings, and I'll listen in more. Are you on every day or once a week?
Every week at Wednesday.
Wednesday, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bob, it's a pleasure to hear you, Bob. Thank you for joining the program.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And thank you, Bob. Okay, and I'm clicking on over here to the chat room, seeing how things are going. Looks like Omalulu International. Thank you. Thank you. That's the one. And I think he used it on his hair. Mr. Brown did. Okay, good. So I see things are going well on the chat room. Do we have another? Oh, yes. Let me come on over here to Rosemary. Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Chrism. I wanted to get a moment in to say about the coming seminar in Denver. And we might have some people listening to the web radio today. I had a chance to share that with someone, and we're looking forward to it. Mohan and I have been, and you have been working with the local Malhai Natural Awakening magazine that will have your article and the ad for the seminar, and that will be a great contribution to us. And we're looking forward to that. And I know people on Facebook people are coming from Minnesota. We know that for sure. So we look forward to being with the community.
Can you tell people when it is?
Yeah, I'm sorry. October 20th. No, that was when the last one was. Sorry. April 28th and 29th. So it's a little less than 2 months. And Mohan there will be getting some flyers around to different places so people will know. And it's an amazing experience. There are many of us.
Well, I want to thank you, Rosemary. I want to thank you, Rosemary, and I want to thank Mohan as well for organizing this event in Denver. I'd like to invite everybody who is in the Denver area or who wants to fly in internationally from Canada or come in from the East Coast or from California, anywhere, come on in and join us in Denver. Meet Mohan. Mohan literally drips the Shakti Kundalini. I mean, just look at him and you can see it. And so does Rosemary. And you'll be able to meet Joey and Katie, some of the other folks that are coming to the Kundalini event. And really, there's so much going on at a Kundalini seminar. The people there are so very, very interesting, and the level of Shakti in the air is just so strong. And for Bob, Shakti is the sacred feminine aspect of the Kundalini, and Shiva would be the sacred male aspect. But you could also, translate it into Jesus being sacred male or Mary being sacred female. I mean, it goes beyond religion, but we use religious personas in order to give reference points for us. And so really, it's these seminars really just are amazing for the people there, for the people that come, the person you sit next to. It's an amazing experience to be able to meet other people that have the Kundalini too. And if you've never had the Kundalini, to sit next to a person that has the Kundalini and to feel that vibration coming from them and really getting on you and in you and around you and feeling the sanctity of grace as it fills you and as it permeates your skin. So yeah, really, it's a great opportunity to have that. So I second it. I'd like to see you on what is it, 28th and 29th, right? Or 29th and 30th?
No, 28th and 29th.
28th and 29th. I'd love to meet all of you who can make it out there. And once again, Mohan and Rosemary, many, many, many thanks from the Shakti and from me and from the people that you'll be helping by setting this up. Thank you, both of you, very much. And once again, that's on the 28th and the 29th of April this year. Looking forward to it. Santara, I don't know that we'll have any chance for questions. Can we save them?
I don't think so, Chrism. Yeah, I saved them for next week, and I just want to tell people Germany is May 26th, 27th.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that. So we'll be going to Germany. I've already bought my plane ticket, so that means it's going to happen. And so for those of you in Europe, come to Germany. Contact Manisha, Maneesha, Manish on Facebook, and get your ticket. And really, really, we're going to have a great time in Germany. The last time I was there, it was an amazing event there. So do your best, get your tickets, and let's meet up in Germany. And thank you, Santara, for being the excellent co-host that you are.
Thank you, Chrism.
Any last words?
See everybody next week. Same time, same channel. Maybe see you too, Bob.
Hopefully. And I'd like to say thank you for everybody who's been listening and participating in the chat room and calling in. And I'd like to say hello to the people, the future people in the archives that are listening to this show in the archive state, and for the people on Facebook that are listening directly through the means that Santara set up for them. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will be here next Wednesday. And many, many blessings to you. You can reach more of this information on Chrism.Kundalini on the YouTube network. On Facebook, we have Kundalini Awakening, ! Kundalini 2, Kundalini Awakening Systems 2, Kundalini Awakening Systems 3, Kundalini People, Kundalini Healing, a public and a private group. And I'd like to say you're welcome to all of them. We're also on the Yahoo network, Kundalini Awakening Systems 1 at yahoogroups.com. And I will go ahead and end this program the way that it was started. Here we go.